Excuse me, that's legitimate. Excuse me, you guys, that's legitimate. I just put out the blunt, so I can't put it today. Appreciate that, Rich. Yeah, man, I'm trying my hardest, man. A lot of weirdos to weed through, man. Sick individuals, man. Sick people. Alright, back at you, bro. Appreciate that. If we, if marijuana was a fucking gateway drug like they say it is, I would have fucking, I would have been on fucking methamphetamine, fucking, I would be a serious I would be a serious druggie right now because it seems like weed just ain't doing, weed ain't doing the trick, but I know how that other shit goes. I know the story behind that shit. you'll never, you'll never, you'll never break free from that shit, or else if you ever get lucky to break through it, it'll take a long time. Hey, what's going on, artist? Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Yeah, man, they're just, they're going hard on me. So instead of fucking look at the one headlight, instead of fucking just I'm trying to hit them where it hurts. I don't know if you've seen the last couple of videos that I uploaded, but they tried to fucking have somebody crash into me. They fucking let air out. I mean, put needles. Not put needles. Put fucking screw in my tire. I just had to pay $120 to get a fucking tire. And fucking, you know, I know the dude ripped me off. I know that wasn't the price of the fucking tire for real, but I had no choice. So fuck. For all that to happen, and me be right here rolling up a blunt, I'd say I'm doing pretty good. But I am protesting the fuck out of these motherfuckers. I went in front of the police department. I went in front of VTA. I'm venting this shit out all on these motherfuckers. You wanna play your fucking games? I went right in front of the VTA and told them to fucking come outside so they could see the footage of their fucking harassment. A couple people, you know, I think a couple people legitimately believe me, because one girl and her boyfriend was like, I believe you. It could have been some bullshit, but you know, if it was bullshit, they wouldn't. I mean, I don't think they would want to do that, because you know, that just reinstates that I'm doing this shit for the right reason and letting people that really want to know what happened know what happened. That I like to meet with you in San Jose if that's possible. Are you willing to speak with me about this situation? Yeah, man, I have to talk to you like over the phone or on I have to talk to you over like I have to kind of fill you out, man, and make my decision from there, man, because it's a lot of fucked up shit going on. Not to say that you're a part of it. I'm not saying that at all. I just, you know, a lot of fucked up shit, a lot of weird, like, you know, some fucked up shit's been happening, bro. So I gotta kind of, you know, fill you out, like. But definitely, man. I mean, if it's about an interview, or if you're talking about like an interview or something like that, or you know, just meeting up and talking about it, but I don't want to. I don't. Well, we'll talk about it, man. We'll talk about it. But, and I have to make this fucking disclaimer, man. I have to. And has nothing to do with you, man. It has nothing to do with you, David. But if this is a meet, if you want to talk to me about joining you guys, or not you guys, but if you're a part of this shit, which I'm not saying you are, but if it's fucking a about joining that fucking shit, you know, you can forget about that. Like, don't even waste your time. I don't want to waste your time. I'm sure you don't want to waste my time. And again, it has nothing to do with you, bro. It's just a disclaimer. Um, uh, Hold on, y'all. I'm flipping through the comments. This shit is getting weird, man. The comments are like switching up. Different, like, okay, I read that. Constant harassment. Yeah, I know. You're in the mountains at least, though. Like, at least you're, you know, I mean, yeah, you can spot these weirdos out quick. And we want you on the team or ones to meet. That sounds like. Yeah, we can. I'll definitely talk to you about that. Bro, we're gonna destroy. We're at the war right now. That's why it mess with us. They know we the chosen. Yeah. You know the thing, bro. Excuse me, you guys. The thing with these people is that, you know, they're like you said, they're like they're the fallen, man. They're evil people, man. I've never seen so many old people in my life with that look of fucking, I don't want to say horrific look, but just real evil. They remind me of the poltergeist, the dude that was walking down the street whistling and shit at the beginning, like the very first one, I think it was. The tall guy with the gray hair, he was fucking had his briefcase and his little fucking, his brim hat and his trench coat, walking down the street and whistling. Just really creepy looking old people, man. People in their 80s. People in their 80s looking like they're ready to just bite your fucking head off and shit, man. I've never seen that shit, so many. I've never seen it. I can't even say I've ever seen it until I fucking became target. Old people, like, I would always be like, man, like, I hear somebody fucking arguing with an old person or some shit like that, and I just be like, damn, man, that motherfucker weird, man. Like, that's a fucking old person. Like, why with this fucking? But it ain't no telling if that motherfucker that was arguing with him was targeted and shit, man. I used to always think of them like fucking baking cookies and, you know, playing with the great grandkids and shit. These motherfuckers out here reckless, driving around in power chairs and shit. red power chairs, red fucking power chairs with American flags on them, and the fucking pacemaker in one hand, and fucking the other hand in the fucking steering bar. Fucking evil, just driving down the street, driving in the fucking bike lane and shit, fucking harassing people. The light turned green for you, they want to hurry up and zoom right there in the middle of the street and try and hold you up. Like, literally, they'll fucking... I had this one motherfucker in a power chair. He got in front of me like he was a real fucking car, man. And fucking had me drive. You know, they like to box you in and shit, so... This piece of shit was driving his fucking power chair with the striped and fucking stars and striped toilet paper fanning in the wind on the back of his fucking power scooter, and the other fucking cars were boxing me in and shit. So I couldn't switch lanes and get... I couldn't switch lanes and fucking, you know, get in and get in front of that fucker. The shit they do, man, is fucking... You know, put it like this. And they've been doing, if you guys just heard that little skeet sound? Ever since they fucking almost hit me, did that, you know, tried to run into me and shit, they've been doing that. They've been fucking driving around with cars with no door on the passenger. They're driving around with fucking cars that don't have a passenger door to symbolize like what, you know what they were trying to symbolize. You know, if my fucking, you know, if that dude would have hit me, it would have smacked into my passenger. So they're riding around with their fucking passenger doors taken off, and they're driving and they're hitting the brakes real fucking fast and shit, making that fucking sound and shit. Almost like they're trying to fucking make me have some type of Vietnam flashback and shit. You know, some fucking weird shit like that. To really spook me on the road too. To really spook me on the road, because I fucked up and said, you know, I told you guys how that shit had me feeling and shit. Like, my nerves were bad. I was stopping at green lights and making sure that fucking other cars, you know, I was doing all that fucking shit. So, you know, they're really trying to work on my nerves, if you will. Like, they're trying to really push the issue, press the issue on my nerves. So, like, when I hear that fucking, it's a trigger. Whenever I hear that fucking sound, whenever I hear that sound, you know, I'm so fucking, how would you say, that event affected me so much that, or they wanted the, you know, I'm not, don't get me wrong, like sometimes I'll be driving and I have my music up, like I'll be listening to my music and I have that shit up and they'll do it, and that shit'll make me jump because like my senses aren't fucking all, like I'm listening to music, or so I'll jump and see what the fuck is going on around me and shit. But like when I don't have the music on and they do that shit, like it's like that shit don't even affect me and shit. Oh man, it's fucked up, man. It's fucked up, man. Mark my word, I guarantee you guys though. I guarantee you, if they do not kill me by the time know, people are gonna, people are gonna see what the fuck is going on. Not only are they gonna see what's going on, but by the time I'm finished protesting, I guarantee you, either somebody's gonna come out and fucking tell at the VTA what's been going on, or fucking, it's gonna be another suicide. Or people that work at the VTA are gonna mysteriously be coming up dead and shit. The piece of shit workers and shit that they know are fucking tell on them and give up the program and shit. They're gonna fucking start, I'm not calling them pieces of shit because they giving up the program, but they're pieces of shit because they involve themselves in the program. They're pieces of shit because they involve themselves in the program, and they're not gonna be giving up the program because it's a moralistic thing for them. They're gonna be fucking giving up the program because they're gonna be shaking in their boots, and they're gonna want a better deal than all the rest of the fuckers that get caught. They're gonna be shaking in their boots, and that's exactly fucking how that shit works. The fucking, we got a deal for you. We just want them. You can take it or leave it. Then you're gonna have your fucking bullshit attorney fucking come in there and try and console you, get on your page. I was like you once. You gotta change your life, man. Maybe this is they try and fucking psychologically talk you into accepting the time, and they try and psychologically make you feel like, like you're doing a good thing for your for your values and shit. Meanwhile, these same fucking people trying to console you and fucking get you to step up to the plate and fucking drinking baby blood and sacrificing babies and ritualistic fucking bullshit. But he's sitting in front of your face trying to console you and talk you into fucking taking 20, 30 years, telling you to step up to the plate, and maybe it's a good time for you to fucking maybe this is a good time for you to fucking get your shit together and fucking get it, whenever you get a public defender, that's how it is. I don't know what the real lawyers are gonna do. Maybe the real lawyers will chomp into the case, but you get one of these fucking lawyers, you get a court-appointed lawyer. Oh man, you're gonna put it like this. Excuse me. That's legitimate. Anyone, if you cannot afford a lawyer when you go to jail, they're gonna assign you. If you happen to go to jail, knock on wood, they're gonna assign you a lawyer, a public defender. What you have to do is tell the judge you want to file. I don't know how many times you got to do it in the state that you're in, but you tell the judge you want to fire your public defender. They're going to appoint you another public defender. They're going to, appoint you another one, and you fire that one, and then they get you they can't give you another public defender. They got to get you not a paid lawyer, but they got to get you a court-appointed lawyer. And it's not too much. They're not too far from the. They're not too far from the fucking. They're not too much. Chill out. They're not too much. Chill out, bro. they're not too much different from public defenders, but they do fight a little bit harder for you. Yeah, but these people are gonna be dropping dimes, man. You know, they're shaking in their boots right now. Look at this fucking weirdo. Oh, that's what I was talking about. She's not that old, but you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about 80-year-olds and fucking 90-year-olds fucking driving around. Driving around like they're driving on power wheels and shit. Fucking in I don't know what you would call that midlife. There's beyond midlife crisis. Fucking be thinking those power chairs are red, shiny Corvettes and shit. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, you guys, cause it keeps, damn. Well, let me see if I can get it. Okay, here we go. What's the best way to get in touch with you? Jacobian, JACOBIAN, Miller, MILLER, 269 at gmail.com. I'm gonna say, actually, I can write it down right here. That's another good thing about this app. Yeah. All right, I just. Oh yeah. That's it right there. That's my. That's my. Excuse me. That's legitimate, you guys. That's my email right there. Sorry if I'm missing you guys. I'm gonna catch up. Okay. Did at least the harassment go down a little bit? Nah. I mean, when I left, I can say, oh, see that shit? And this fucking big ass truck trying to do that. They wait till they get right next to me, then they make that fucking skeet sound. Yeah, when I was traveling and I was inside a motel most of the time. So yeah, it was really fucking it died down a little bit, and I wasn't out. Yeah, it died down a little bit. It actually a lot. But as soon as they get like they woke me up out of my slumber. As soon as I hit the California lines, as soon as it said welcome to, or not California. as soon as I hit the fucking, what freeway was that? I-80. When I got more so when I got towards San Diego, when I passed all that rocky shit up, all the mountain, like when I wasn't around the hills and the mountains and shit, when I got left that area, and when it started fucking turning into fields and shit like that, you know, as soon as it did that, fucking Damn, it says something, man. What did it say? I don't know. It said welcome to some city. But once I got there, the motorcycles hit me. the mo- the motorcycles hit me. They started fucking. And it wasn't just one. It wasn't just one fucking motorcycle or no shit like that. It was fucking like motorcycle gangs, like a bunch of fucking bike rats with their biker club, with their bike clubs, and that's no shot at people that ride motorcycles, just the actual rats, the two-legged rats that drive motorcycles that work for the government and the police department. And probably a lot of you guys probably have them in your fucking organization. You might want to start weeding that shit out. But yeah, you know, they had their fucking. It was hell of it. It wasn't just like one motorcycle gang, and it wasn't just at one time. It was like periodically as I'm driving, and they know how to hit me too. Like when I'm using my GPS, I can't use my camera and shit. So they do a lot of weird shit, which they probably would do with the camera on, but I think they know when my camera is recording and when it's not, so they fucking they how do you say, they take advantage of the camera not rolling. That's the police in that black Nissan truck. And of course that red truck, that big red truck, was a fucking government informant. A lot of these government informants that they have harassing us too are the same ones that they used to fucking, lock up. They're informants. They're real life. So they have a little experience in this shit, like seasoned. Some of them are seasoned. Some of them are actually seasoned Some of them are actually seasoned informants. Sell fucking pounds and pounds and pounds of drugs to people and shit. So the police can monitor people that they're selling the drugs to and get a case on them. And the fucked up thing about a confidential informant is that you don't your name your name doesn't have to. I mean, they don't have to put your name in the paperwork. They don't have to have they don't have to have you you're their informant, like their informant doesn't have to come and testify on you, so you'll never see who your fucking accuser was or none of that shit. On top of that, they're so fucking cold. On top of that shit, they get to keep all the money from the drugs that they've sold you. It's way out. It's like a job for them. It's literally like a job for them. So this fucking harassment program, it's nothing to them. Just another day on the job. see. That's playing. Yeah, I had. Yeah, I did have to get out. Oh. Hey, what's going on in Waking World? I'm hanging in there. Hanging in there. And, said awakening. Hey, Tanya. Yeah. Yeah, they do look dead, man. They look like zombies, man. And I think, with all this electronic harassment and all this fucking bullshit, that Bird Box, especially that Bird Box movie. That Bird Box movie, um, was it Bird Box or Bird? Yeah, Bird Box, I think, where they had to cover their eyes. If they looked into a person's eyes, they fucking committed suicide. Like a lot of those movies, that's what these people remind me of, man. They remind me of the people. The movie reminds me of like us targets. Like we don't want to look in their eyes and we're trying to stay away from them and shit. And they're just, or like, the movie fucking, where the zombies are really fucking friendly and they don't have no expression but a fucking smile on their face saying join, join. But, as soon as they fucking get to you, they fucking kill you and shit. They kill you or pin you down and bite you or some shit, and you become one of them. Oh man, that's what these fucking people remind. They're sickos, man, literally. They're fucking sickos, man. And if you listen to like when they see a person distressed and arguing and fucking mad because they're trying to fucking vent to the person to stop harassing them, and the person is telling them they're out of their mind and shit, they have this sick fucking smile. And if it's not the sick smile, it's the wicked laugh. It's like the women have a wicked witch laugh. And the men's laughs are fucking weird because the men like to talk with their laughs. They like to be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. Like almost like Beavis and Butthead, but they fucking, they're laughing. Like they're more so trying to get your attention but laugh at the same time. It's like a combination of trying to yank your attention to adjust yourself to their conversation and then laughing and shit. It's really fucking weird. Like if you sit and fucking study these people, I know it sounds like I know you guys are fucking probably like, oh man, what the fuck? This guy thinks he's a professional target or some shit, but nah. I'm serious, like, if you pay attention to some of these motherfuckers, like it's like bird watching. They have fucking the same, there's a certain quality about these people that no one has. Like they have the same instincts almost, like, like, for me, if you lived around me for a while, I might have like some certain facial expressions and you'll never see nobody else that has those fucking facial expressions. You might see one person, and you'll be like, damn, you were that was. He'll start making those, or she'll start making those facial expressions, and then you'll be like, damn, you remind me of such and such, but you don't, you won't immediately catch on to why that person reminds you until you're around them a little bit, or you start thinking back to like man, why does that motherfucker look so familiar? And then you'd be like, oh yeah, it was the facial expressions or something. But that's what these fucking people are like, man. They have the same laughs, and they have the same fucking. It's almost like their life, which pretty much is scripted and shit. It's like everything's a script, so you fucking get used to the fucking script. And you know them, they like to oversaturate you with the harassment because they're energy vampires and narcissists and all that. So by them oversaturating, it's like they're really playing themselves down, because they're letting you get the whole skinny on them, if you will. Like, they're letting you fucking analyze them to a point to where, then you become vulnerable. Like, but they, they don't care about becoming. Let me see. Look. Oh, you good? They don't care about becoming. They don't think about that. Or they just think that this isn't a game of lottery, and their number will never come up. They think they start fucking thinking they're invincible until fucking, somebody commits suicide and kills 8 people. Then they start thinking about it for maybe about a week, and then they fucking get right back into the fucking shit. They get right back, they get right back into it, and they can't help it, man. They can't help it. On top of that, they have to do it because their life's on the line. So a lot of these fuckers running scared right now. Forced to target. Forced to be fucking, forced to fucking target people. They're thinking about all these people that died, but they know if they get out the program, they're next. Or fucking, the program will fucking turn on them. They're either gonna die or the program's gonna turn on them. And by me doing that, that's why I love doing this megaphone shit. And I love the exact time that I got the megaphone, because I know now that a lot of these fuckers are running scared and they're fucking shaking in their boots. And I know that something's gonna happen to me at this point. Like, I don't even give a fuck. Like, I don't like, I don't want to die, don't get me wrong, but I don't care. Like, just to fucking see these people shaking their fucking boots and fucking expose this fucking program, and maybe get somebody to fucking expose from within to come out and fucking expose this fucking program. That makes it all the more worth it, man. While they fucking drive around in their pretty fucking Teslas off our blood, sweat, and tears. Look at that pretty ass car off harassing people. Look at the one headlight. Where you go, one headlight? Did I get him? But yeah, man. I guarantee you, a lot of these new fucking, before COVID hit, well, way before I was targeted. You work you know, people were struggling. People were fucking struggling to live out here. Like, wasn't nobody fucking driving around in no fucking, unless you were a techie type of motherfucker. You had like a Honda, you had fucking, you know, Chrysler, LeSabre, LeBaron, or whatever the fuck. You know, you might see a couple of these cars right here and shit, a couple of these Mustangs and shit like that. But that would be like the for the ordinary person, for the average person, the average 9 to 5er, not no fucking computer tech or no shit like that. But the average middle class person wasn't driving around in no fucking Beamer, Mercedes, fucking, you know, wasn't driving around in that shit. Now every fucking house in the neighborhood has a fucking a European car, a fucking, you know, a Benz, a Beamer, a fucking Hellcat. The Hellcat's American, but you know what I mean. Like, you know, they got all these fucking newer cars, Tesla especially. Like, you know, middle class motherfuckers driving around in Teslas and shit. And this middle class motherfuckers. And I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, there are some middle class people that save their money, you know, and get cars like that, but for the most, you know, people are fucking struggling to survive and shit. You damn near gotta have 2 jobs to live out here comfortably. You know, the first job automatically for your rent, and the second job, you know, to live comfortably with your food and all the shit that comes with your house, electricity and all that shit. But the first job, guaranteed, that's your rent. And that's, you know, that's if, excuse me, that's legitimate. That's if you got your own shit though. Like, that's if you, I mean, that's if you got your own shit. Like, not, you can save money if you live with people, but, you know, if you're gonna live with somebody, you want to know the person that you're living with, because out here, the little live-in situation where they fucking rent out rooms and shit in those fucking, you know, Victorian houses, those big ass houses and shit. They rent rooms and shit. You don't want to be living in one of those because the doors are made of like paper.
You are in deviation of the law with your harassment. Get that headlight fixed. People are dying.
We good. Hey. Alright. We good. Chill, you guys. Synchronicity. Notice how the guy comes. He's walking up just in case I was gonna say something to that lady because she was targeting me. He's making sure I didn't say nothing to her. He's the watcher, if you will. Playing cool, playing slick. Just like white smokers. I didn't do nothing to her, man. Hey, come here. I see you were doing a good job at protecting her, making sure I didn't do nothing to her. I'm just letting you know I didn't do nothing to her, bro. Alright, you have a good one, alright? Get over here, dude, you can't be fighting, man. You get up here, dude. You, alright, you can stay right there. Look at my headlight. Look, see, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. I'm trying to get to the top, but it won't let me get to the top, you guys. Alright, so here we go. They did in a second, they can only harass you. They can definitely touch you. Yeah, man, in the beginning, excuse me, that's legitimate. In the beginning, I thought that, bro. But, you know, they have the right, I guess, to do whatever they want, bro, when it comes to you, because I was literally stabbed and almost fucking killed, bro. Like, the doctor, like, and I don't know if the doctor was fucking playing with my head or whatever, but, you know, he told me, like, if that knife was, like, a half an inch up, like, it would have been over, like, it would have been over for me. So, like, if I would have fucking pointed at her, like, if I would have had my body adjusted any other way other than just turning around, like, if I would have fucking, like, made any type of gestures at her, or fucking, like, you know, that knife could have probably plunged into my fucking heart or anything, bro. And, you know, for damn near attempted murder, you know, because she was crazy, or psychologically on paperwork, she was crazy. She gets 6 months at a fucking, she did like 6 months at a fucking, you know, prison facility that, it's in, where is the fucking, not Nevada, is it Nevada? I don't think it's Nevada, man. It's in some fucking hills, man. But anyways, there's like a mental prison facility in some fucking, it'll come to me. But yeah, man, she done 6 months in that, and that's like a kickback place. It's like, you know, it's not no sales or none of that shit. You walk around freely. You get to watch fucking, you know, you walk around like a regular fucking hospital. Watch TV, movies, and shit like that. You know, fucking, you know, it's like it's even better than a minimum level prison yard. Like, so basically, you know, it's like what do they call that shit? You know, it's a getaway, basically, from the street. You live better in that motherfucker than they live on the streets, because, you know, it's a lot of slumlords and shit that take them in, that take the mentally ill in. and they get their checks and shit, and they finesse them out their money and shit. Like they buy all the food, like you can't buy your own food, and so they buy all the cheap fucking food and shit. They buy all the houses are fucking dilapidated and shit. They don't, you can't do too much. Like you gotta paint them and just, you gotta restore them. Basically, they can't be, they can't be knocked down because they're considered historic. They're considered historical landmarks. So what they do is they buy all the fucking. It's not funny. It's sick shit, man. It's fucking sick. And I don't know how they get away with it, man. But they buy all these fucking old ass Victorian houses from when like San Jose was first built. And they're, they got rats and fucking roaches the size of fucking pet mice and shit. Like they got fucking. I mean, I'm gonna film some of these fucking roaches they got out here, man. They're fucking huge. Anybody from San Jose, if you been down, they got roaches like that fly with like, they look like beetles, like they're big. They're not like those fucking, they're not like those regular little domestic fucking house roaches and shit that you be seeing in the house and shit. Like, these ones are like fucking, I don't know if it's the deterioration of the houses. And the fucking, maybe the wood has a chemical in it, but whatever is in that wood and it's seeping out is fucking getting on those roaches, and they're like little fucking monsters, man. And those roaches only come out at night. Those roaches right there, man, they only come out at night. Like, they're fucking huge. But yeah, man, they buy up all those fucking Victorian houses and they put them in, they get the mentally ill in there and they just let them do whatever they want. They take all their fucking money, they let them go out and fucking buy drugs and fucking go fucking do weird shit, especially now that, they're working for the police, or the police are fucking, I'm not even gonna say they're working for the police are utilizing them. The police are fucking using them as tools in this fucking program because a lot of them don't understand what they're doing. So a lot of them, it's really not their fault. You could offer them a candy bar, give them a knife and say go stab him, and they'll go stab me. They'll stab me and whoever the fuck else for a candy bar. You feel me? And get away with the shit because they're on paperwork. They're crazy. So what they'll do is they'll put them in that little prison thing, and as soon as they get out of there, they'll fucking they'll recycle them back into one of the fucking. They won't put them back in the same crazy house. Sorry to use that term, but that's really the only name I know for them. See, they doing that shit. They do that shit too. They get by me and hit the one like that shit just made me turn hella fast. Fuck. That shit just made me turn hella fast, man. Like, they got me fucked up from that car crash. I be trying to say that I'm not, but literally, if I was to be fucking honest, if I was to really dig deep down and fucking be honest with myself, they fucking got me tripping off that car shit. Like, that shit just made me turn hella fast. They know exactly what they're doing, man. They got this shit down to a science. But yeah, man. They let them do that 6 months and they recycle them back into a different fucking crazy house. And then you just like they utilize the little guy, the little cool guy. I'm getting kind of tired of him because they use him too much now, and they're starting to make him invade mine. He's starting to, like in the beginning, I still felt sorry for him, but I was feeling like really bad for him and shit. But now it's just starting to get irritating and shit because they use him too much. But I would never do anything to that dude, though. I would never. There's no way you could fucking. You can't even get mad at that dude, man. You can't even fucking get mad at him, man. This is a guy who got a soda pop. You know, a little guy too. A little fucking guy, man. You know, a harmless little dude, man. Like literally a little kid upstairs. They dressed this dude up in fucking drag. I don't know. They dress him up like a fucking. And then I'm not even gonna say they dress him up in drag. They dress him like an old lady, man. They dress him in shit like fucking long skirts or fucking short skirts with fucking cowboy boots and shit. Like fucking. And I'm not fucking. This is just how I vent it out, you guys, man. But it's ridiculous the shit that they do, man. And even people, I think, people who are gay that aren't a part of this program, like legitimate people that are gay, like they I don't think they like this shit either. Like, I really don't think like they I'm not talking about the program, but as far as like, I don't think they would fucking appreciate the fucking dressing up some dude that's fucking mentally ill like the lady and shit, because if he goes and does something, which he wouldn't do because he's harmless, but say he fucking flips out and fucking kills somebody or some shit like that, he's gonna be dressed up like the fucking lady, and that the first thing they're gonna say is fucking, oh, some gay guy went and killed somebody. Some gay guy that they dressed up is gay, because he's really just like, he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And they once they put that shit on the news, that they're gonna fucking, the gay community is gonna have to hear about that shit. They're gonna hear about that shit all online and shit and all that shit. They don't want to fucking hear that shit. Like, this program right here is really fucking sick, man. It's really sick, man. When I saw, just knowing that the police are a part of it, the EMTs and the fire department, that's enough to knock a motherfucker's, mindset back. Like, that's enough to knock you back into thinking like, damn. But once you fucking find out and see how they fucking take advantage of the mentally ill, how they put their 90-year-old grandmother and grandfathers on the front line, how they put their fucking kids, how they put their anybody but them is on the front line. They're fucking tucked nicely behind their fucking one headlight car and fucking one tail light vehicle while they're fucking driving slow and having their fucking kid perform weird acts that they shouldn't be performing in grown men, in front of grown men and shit, dressing their kids up like fucking prostitutes almost, damn near, you could say, and shit. But they make it look real nice and shit, and put them, instead of fucking a mini skirt and fucking makeup and shit, they put them in like real a swimming outfit. They put them in like a fucking swimming or a bathing suit and fucking, have them walk up the street barefooted real quick and try and, because you're gonna see somebody, the average person who's driving by, you'll look, but it's not like you're fucking paying attention to, you're not some fucking pervert looking at the girl with some fucking, sexual fantasy in your head. You just happen to look that way and notice somebody, but they'll fucking snap a picture of your ass looking in her direction, and it looks like that picture lasts a long time. That's another reason, like, when I'm driving and shit, and I notice they're using their kids and shit, I don't look at their kids, because I know they're fucking, they snap pictures of that, and then they go engrave that shit into fucking people's heads and shit, that you're some pervert, and they've had you under investigation for a long time, and that snapshot along with some other fucking snapshots that fucking they probably took of you fucking maybe in the store, and a little kid ran around you and shit, and you're looking down like, what the fuck is going on? And they got you snapped looking at that kid. They got you snapped looking at the little girl that's on the street, and they're just fucking, that picture, that pose, that that position, which would have probably been only 1 second, is now lasted forever on a picture. And that's all the people can see is you looking, at all these fucking pictures that have had fucking, kids around you and shit. So you guys gotta watch out for that too. Like, that's another booby trap they like to set when they call you a child, because I try and ask myself, like, okay, if I'm gonna lie on somebody and call them a child molester, like, if I ask for proof, if somebody was to ask me for proof, I would have to have fucking, something to prove, because, I'm not gonna have no official jail paperwork. They don't have no official paperwork that says this. They might write some bullshit up, but they don't have no official jail or anything that they're saying that we are. If it's some fucking, like, a murderer, a robber, a fucking rapist or some shit, there's some jail paperwork. And since they can't produce that, they gotta produce some type of fucking evidence. So, for instance, like for me, what they used to do when I had my, before I had a van and shit, I used to ride the bike with the trailers on it, so people would ask me, they would tell me too, they would offer me like little amounts of money and shit. They'd be like, I give you $5 to tow this. Hey, I'm doing something right now. Look at this baby. Why? Why? Leave me alone. Please. There you go. Alright, chill out. Try and fucking trigger you with that red bullshit. I don't know. I think that red, I don't know, man. I think that's some shit that makes you fucking, because I know bulls don't like that shit either, man. It's something about fucking red, man. For like bulls, they can see that shit immediately, and they don't like that shit, and they'll charge at it. But like for humans, I think it's some subconscious shit, man, and that shit just, subconsciously, red fucks us up in the head or some shit. guys gotta excuse me, I'm flipping through the comments. Oh yeah, okay, that's what it was. Damn man, why is it doing that shit? Like if I'm trying to walk, okay, like if I'm trying to walk across the street, they speed around like if they want to hit me, I'm too fast. Yeah, they done that. They've done that to me. Like they've you know, I never really thought that they would like try and fucking hit me and shit, but you know, it's not gonna. I'm still gonna jump out the fucking way. Like I just chalked it up to as that's what they were trying to do. But I don't put anything past these people. I don't do that no more, man. I don't, man. Like, you know, I've been stabbed. I hate to keep saying that shit. Well, I've been stabbed. I've been jumped by these people. I've almost got. They just almost fucking hit a red. Well, they, you know, this is like the second time with the car. Like the second time, the first time was a white van, just like, well, I had a different van. It was a bigger one, but it was just like mine. And it was a girl driving with a black dude, and she was fucking speeding, like she was fucking speeding, and then she fucking like, it's like she knew, like, and you know something else at that time. Something else fucking distracted me to where like that's why I know it was God, man. Like I know, like you know, people might think, oh yeah, man, but you know, I know for a fact God is real because both times, man, like both times I was distracted. This time when it happened, I was distracted by trying to tape my tape on my thing so that my dash cam would stay. And then I noticed the guy next to me as I turned, so I was like, I did see the light turn, but I was gonna wait for him to go while I still fucking, you know, pressed the tape, because he was like on the side of me, but he didn't, you know, my driver's side window wasn't next to his passenger side window. So usually like when they don't pull up right next to you, they're trying to hide so that they can follow you. They'll drive slower and stay behind you, but they don't want you to see them on the side of you. So when I noticed that his fucking hood was at my driver's side door, I was like, oh, okay, this is a perp. Then I turned back around and started taping my shit. I seen the light turn, and, you know, from my peripheral vision, and I just waited for dude to take off. So dude took off. He even waited. He even waited with me. If you guys pay attention, he fucking waited. And then he drove. And then as soon as the car, it was a setup like a motherfucker, man. If you guys pay attention to that shit, you can see the setup, man. You can see the setup. And I know the question is going to come in your head because it came in my head. If this dude was really trying to do this, if he was really trying to kill me, why would he do it in that little car? Why would he risk fucking hitting me in this van in that little car? But these are professional fucking people. Like this wasn't no fucking this ain't no fucking you know, your average fucking citizen. These are fucking FBI. Fucking, that was somebody big. That wasn't your average fucking weirdo citizen following you around with one headlight. That was a department. That was a departmental job. Like that was a we gotta shut his ass up job. That wasn't some fucking, you know, yes man or yes girl job. So they knew, like they would have knew exactly where to hit me. You You know, and it could have been everything. Even dude that came back and did the U-turn. You know, if they would have hit me, an ambulance, like they probably would have had an ambulance get me in, or even one of the cars fucking get me in the car, or whatever, take me off somewhere, fucking, you know, I'm out here, I'm homeless, I live in my fucking van, nobody's, you know, nobody's gonna fucking, and maybe targeted individual, but nobody's gonna fucking, you know, if I'm missing, you know, nobody's gonna, out here, nobody's gonna think anything less. It's just, you know, they don't, that other than the fucking people that harass me, motherfuckers ain't paying attention to me like that, man. To fucking want to inquire, like, oh, what happened to that dude guy that got, you know, hit by the fucking car accident or whatever. You know, they would have got on the fucking, they would have got on the thing. You know, most likely they would have got on the news and said, oh, he was driving recklessly, drunk driving, he was under the influence of marijuana. You know, they start pulling all types of shit out. When they put you in a car crash accident and shit like that, you know, they can say it was for anything. If you ain't got no family that's gonna fucking push the issue and fucking, I want to see fucking toxicology and, you know, I want the autopsy and shit. If you ain't got nobody that's gonna do that, you know, they're just gonna make some shit up and the fucking put it on the 5 o'clock news. Motherfuckers gonna come from work, eat their fucking food and fucking smoke their cigarettes and their weed. And just gonna see another fucking crash. Just the same thing like we do every morning we wake up. Every morning we wake up, or every one of us that watches the news, anybody who watches the news, you see a car crash, and you know, another car crash, and you go on about your day. You know, and that's the sick part of it, man. It's sick because there's so many fucking people dead behind fucking the police killing them. There's so many people, like, I've literally witnessed, like, I never witnessed the fucking police killing the people, but on a lot of occasions, I can't say, put it like this, on at least 4 different occasions, I've been in fucking, you know, detention units, if you will, where you go to do, like, violation. Like, I've been in jail, where fucking, you know, somebody will mouth off to the police and be like, fuck you. You know, the police, because, you know, when you're in there, they be on their high horse and, you know, they say shit like, well, at least I get to go home at the end of the day and shit like that. When you got 50 and fucking 30 fucking years and shit, they want to fucking, you know, you say something and then they fucking rub that shit in your face. Like, at least I get to kiss my wife. What do you get to do? Who are you kissing? And like, just disrespectful shit. Like, so, you know, you mouth off to them. Like, I've seen them take people out of fucking, you know, units and fucking, you know, when they take you out, when they fucking dress up, when they dress up in their goon gear is like a bunch of shielded fucking, you know, body armor and shit, like fucking, like they're shielded to a T, like fucking, so you can't stick them with knives or fucking, you know, they're just super shielded. And then they got the face shield that looks like you know, some space fucking hat and shit with glass in front of it. And they fucking come with their fucking batons and shit, marching in there like fucking army people, and then dragging you out the fucking, they drag you out the fucking unit and beat you to the fucking death, or, you know, beat you to the point to where you wish you were dead. fucking throw all types of. See these fucking faggots? No disrespect to anyone, but yeah, they beat you to the point you wish you were dead and shit like that. Look at his arm out the window like that. Hey man, you gonna break your arm hanging it out the window like that? Gotta hang it out like a regular person. He's a real tough rat too. Look at that rat. That's a tough fucking rat right there. But yeah, man, they throw you in all these fucking weird ass arm bars and shit to where you like fucking, you just want to fucking die, man, because they have your arm to the point to where it feels like it's gonna snap and you're wrapped up like a pretzel. And you know, sometimes people, you know, they be dying and shit, man. And then to cover it up, they'll fucking get on the news and say, oh, well, yeah, you know, we found him in the cell. And the thing that gets me is they'll tell you that they found him in the cell and he hung himself, but what the fuck did he hang himself on? There's nothing in the cell you can hang yourself with. Like, they take your shoestrings as soon as you get into booking, so you don't hang yourself. They take everything from you. But the first thing they tell you to do is take your shoestrings out of your shoes when you go into the holding tank. On top of that, there's nothing that you can tie a shoestring, a rope, or anything on in fucking prison. You can't, or a fucking, you know, jail. You can't do that. You can't do that. But every time they tell somebody, oh, we found him hanging in his cell, any juror, any citizen, anybody who has ever, if you've had a family member that they said found hanging dead in his cell, you tell those police you want a picture of the cell that he was hung in. And you tell them you want the same fucking cell because you have the number of the cell and the exact location of the cell. You have that fucking on an envelope from a letter he sent you or some shit. Because I guarantee you that person didn't hang themselves. It's a cover-up from the police beating their fucking asses to the point of fucking murder because they just have fun with you. And it's not like it's one cop beating on you. You got about 10, 15 fucking cops beating on you. So it's just like, it's never ending. It's never ending until, you know, they get level-headed, you know, and want to give up on you. But they practice on you. Like, you're literally a fucking, you know, you're literally whatever they want you to be at that point in time because they can turn you into a fucking they can turn you into a human pretzel if they want. Fucking snap your arms in all types of different directions. Like, I remember, like, I got that shit happened to, it didn't go that far to where I almost died or anything. But I know it was my first time in fucking jail. It was my first time. I was fucking 18. My first time. And fucking, I was probably like 2 months. 2 months from going home. And some cop was talking, you know, they be talking shit. And so I just mouthed back off to him. But it wasn't like aggressive or no shit like that. It was just like a fuck you, yeah, whatever type shit. Man. He walked out of that dorm and came in with like 6 police. They were fucking dressed in that fucking shit. They told me to get up, and as I was getting up, like I was, they were like, "Get up," and I started to get up, like I was leaning to get up, like I have my fucking, in a dorm, there's like hella bunks and shit, so I'm sitting on my bunk, and like I'm trying to push myself up, like as I'm about to get up and fucking push myself up with my arms to stand up and shit. They just between the crooks of my arms that like between the crooks were between like my shoulder and my forearm, or not my shoulder, between like my elbow and my forearm and shit. They snatched me up like from both arms. Like one cop snatched me up from one arm, one cop snatched me up from the other arm, and they yanked me up. And like when they yanked me up, it's like bunk beds and shit. It's like bunk beds and shit. And so like the back of my head hit the fucking, the top of the fucking bunk bed. Like the back of my back of the back of my head hit the top corner of the bunk bed. And there's like doors and shit. So there's doors. They snatched me up like that. And if that wasn't enough, there's doors and shit. Like they're automatic doors. So like they push a button and the lock goes zzz, and then the hinge that keeps us locked in there backs away so the officers could push the door open. As soon as the fucking dude pushed that button and the thing went back, they fucking, one cop had me by one arm, the other cop had me by the other arm, and they fucking opened the fucking doors with my head like they rushed me out, fucking and opened the door with my fucking head and shit. And then they took me to the cell. Like they have discipline they have disciplinary cells where like, if you get disciplined and shit, they'll throw you in the cell. And it's like a real small cell, and they blast the fucking AC on, so it's hella cold. It's hella cold. Like, it's freezing as fuck in the cell, so, they take me in that cell, it's freezing cold, and they leave me in there, and I'm thinking that's all. And then fucking shift change comes. And in those cells, they have a fucking camera, man. So, I had to deal with bullshit from that first shift, and then when the next shift came on, they started on me and shit. There's benches in there, so there's a bench that goes across in the from one side of the wall to the other side of the wall. It's a little wooden bench with there's 3 wooden plates and shit, and they're separated, like a real fucking, like a park bench and shit. And they made me fucking get on that shit. Like I had to get on the the very first slab of fucking wood and stay on that motherfucker with my knees. Like I had to stay in that position on my knees. Like being older and shit, it probably wouldn't have happened that way and shit. Like I probably would have been more fucking how do you say? Like I wanted to went for that shit older, but being that I was so young and fucking, it was my first time and like, I just didn't want to, I didn't want to die in that motherfucker. Fucking they made me stay in that fucking position and shit, man. And then I would have knew how to, I would have knew how to complain on the cops and write that shit up. Like, cause in there, when you're like actually locked up, like paperwork does work like in prison because those COs and shit, they can't have too many complaints against them from prisoners. But the regular police and shit, it don't matter to them. They had a camera, they got a camera in those cold cells and shit. So I had to stay on that shit, and they'll leave the room, but they're looking at me through the fucking camera and shit, making sure that making sure that I'm fucking, I got my knees and shit on that slab of wood, and it's a real skid. That first piece of the first slab of wood is real skinny, so it cuts into your fucking, it cuts into the fleshy part of your kneecaps and shit. And it's like one of those things to where you just got it, like, and you're not gonna die, but it feels like you're gonna die if you're just gonna die if you don't get off of that shit. Like, after about 5 or 6 minutes of that shit, like, you just can't take that shit no more. You can't take that. In the beginning, it seems like, oh man, this is nothing, man. This is a piece of cake and shit. But once that fucking wood starts fucking digging into your fucking kneecaps, the corners and shit of that wood, that shit ain't no, that shit ain't no joke. And literally, like, every time I got off of it, like, I try and get off and give my knees a little rest and hop back on. As soon as I would get off of it, like, and get back on it, the fucking police would come in and slap me on the back. Slap me on the back of my head and shit. Like, that was literally the worst day in jail. And that's the worst, and I've been in, like, riots, like, not involved in them, but I've been in the middle of riots and shit, like 2 different cars and all that shit fighting, or, and that shit wasn't even as bad as that shit. Like, you could literally die you could literally die in a riot, and it doesn't have to be, like, you might not even be involved in it. Like, they might be shooting a gun, like, there might be a fight, and they shoot a gun, and the bullet missed the person that they're shooting at and hit you and shit. Like, that's how serious that shit is. But, even those weren't worse than that fucking day. Like, that day of police harassment taught me one thing, and that's not to fucking... When you're actually behind jail bars and shit, you don't talk shit to them, because nothing that happens in there goes out. What happens in jail fucking stays in jail, unless you got some type. If you're an influential person and you got some money, then you can fight that shit and expose it. But if you ain't got no money, and you can't get some type of fucking news exposure and shit, if you can't get that shit on the news, you don't fucking say shit to those fucking... If they could talk about your mother, they could they could talk about your grandma. Just don't say nothing to them, because they will kill you, man, or they'll make you wish you were dead. See, here we go with this bullshit again. They keep doing it, you guys. You guys are my witnesses how they keep doing it. They keep waiting till they get right next to me, and they do that shit, trying to fuck with my nerves. For those who don't know what targeting is, they've programmed, they've traumatized me, should I say. I'm traumatized right now. Wake up behind this shit. All control once you're forced, they can do. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. These people they're wacky, man. Oh, I see. I'm not catching, you guys. I'm not catching all the comments. They're not letting me go to the top. Hey, what's going on, 144? They're all the same, reptilian, serpent race. That's why they have the same mannerism. Yeah, I think, that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because there's so many. You know, it's not a. Excuse me, that's legitimate. I tried to think about it. It's definitely not an ethnic thing because it's too many different. It's too many different ethnicities. It's too many different ethnicities that have that same fucking laugh and the moves, the certain moves, and just everything is scripted about them. I know a lot of you guys. I know a lot of you guys are probably gonna think I'm crazy, but I really don't care right now. But I think these chemtrails, all this dirty electricity, and cell towers and cell phones, all this rich ass radiation is helping another different entity survive on this planet. Like all this shit is coming together to help something survive on this planet. Because it's too many things that's killing us. It's too many things that's killing us. You know what? All this fucking bullshit they're implementing into the food, into the water, and into the air. Like this is definitely something that another entity needs to fucking be able to fucking survive alongside us and shit. Like they think, like I believe, like I'm starting to think like this big disclosure is just gonna be a front for what's already here. It's starting to, shit is starting to get really fucking weird, man. And it's like humans, and I know for a while maybe humans haven't been in control with the Queen Elizabeth shit. But like, once I saw that dude, that Pope dude, that fucking the Pope, and I saw, like, looked at him and literally looked at him, like, I don't think it's human, man. I think it's a fucking different entity, man. And then knowing that he participates in those rituals and shit, like, I literally think, and that might offend some people, I don't mean to offend you guys, but, I don't think that's human. So I've been really fucking into fucking studying that shit, man. And it's just too much. It's too many things that it's too many things that just like are starting to make sense to me. Like all this fucking reverse technology as far as with the cell phones and all these futuristic cars and all this shit. Like I don't care how smart you think a human is. Like the smartest human on the fucking planet could not come up with a fucking cell phone on his own. On their own, on our own as human beings, we haven't evolved. And I don't care how many books and all that fucking math shit that they got in the books and all this fucking, all these fucking natural resources they talk about. Like, there's no fucking way that this is human technology. So, I definitely think there's something some a different entity in control of this planet that's still posing as a fucking human. It's a group of them in high places, in the very highest of places, that are posing as human, and they fucking infiltrated, and they're fucking having real humans build their fucking, and it's it sounds like some shit off the Transformers, like the Transformers. If you notice how they had the fucking robots building their fucking planet off fucking machinery and shit in the beginning of the fucking thing. And that's what it's like. We're slaves and we're building a world for them. We're building their world, and now they finally, they figured out a way. They figured out a way to suck energy out of us by fucking chasing us around all fucking day and harassing us. They're sucking our energy, like energy vampire, like they're energy freaks and shit. Fucking, cause they're really fucking happy when we go crazy and shit. It's like a mental orgasm for them. Like, I want to doubt if it's a real physical orgasm for them. Like, if they get wet downstairs. Men or women. Like, like, not on no sexual shit. I'm talking about men and women. Men and women. It's really sick. Like, because a human being, me being a human being, and even it happening to me, I just look at them like, you gotta be a really fucking sick person to enjoy somebody going out of their mind, fucking yelling at you to the point to where spit is flying out their mouth all in your face, and you're fucking just sitting there smiling and fucking placating them and tilting your head and shit like a damn dog trying to figure out what's going on and shit. just fucking antagonization after it's like they don't even care. They don't even care what the outcome of the situation is gonna be. Like sometimes I wonder, like, did the harassers at the VTA that the guy shot, did they die with like a fucking smile on his face? Did they see him walking up with the gun, and did they just fucking smile and tilt their fucking head and wait for the fucking bullet to enter him and shit? Like they didn't. 8 people shouldn't have got shot. Like I'm sitting there thinking in my head, in this fucking yard, how the fuck did 8 people, like, how? Like after the third guy, I'm finna get the fuck out of there. Like after the 4th or 5th, like there's no way. If you don't get me first, there's no way I'm gonna be the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, or the 8th fucking guy that gets shot. There's no fucking way. Like, they had to literally look at this fucking performer.
You're a hell of a performer. You should go to acting school. You're being streamed on YouTube right now with your little prissy domestic terrorism signs.
But yeah, man, I be wondering, like, damn, did they just fucking tilt their head and fucking smile and wait for him to walk up to him? Whatever the case, I think they deserve what they got. I might be wrong for that, but that's one less target that will be put into this program by one of these fucking. That's 8 people that could have got mad at somebody and easily got them put into this program. Like, that's 8 people out the way. 8 lives have been saved. 8 lives have been saved. Maybe not for long, but at least for, however long. it's fucked up to think like that, man. I was struggling with that shit for a long time, man. Like, I don't wanna say they deserved it because I don't wanna be like them. Or I wouldn't wish this program on them. I wouldn't wish this program on them, like, but if I'm gonna be honest with myself, that's complete bullshit. That's good. Like, these people deserve everything they get. Anything bad that happens to these people, they deserve it. I mean, I'll take, like, rape and shit like that out. Like, you know, I won't say rape or no shit like that, but, like, if they get killed, they get beat the fuck up, you know, if they get injured, like, they deserve all that shit, man. Yeah, the fucking chief. And the chief of fucking police killed a fucking unarmed dude in his early days. And people were having a fucking, you know, fit about it. Look at the one headlight truck. People were having a fit about that shit. And now, they're really, you know, I'm gonna really wake people up when I say his ass fucking ordered a hit on me. I mean, hey, I'm sorry I haven't been fucking, I did film earlier my protest and shit, but I've been telling them, like, I got the footage of you motherfuckers trying to kill me. I got the footage of you trying to kill me. And people aren't just fucking committing suicide at the VTA left and right by chance. Like, I went in front of the VTA and let them have it this morning. And my fucking battery ran dead. But I just went and got a fuse for my inverter and shit, so I got a battery right now on the stove cooking. Like, there's never gonna be there's never gonna be a shortage of battery power now. I'm finna go in front of the police station again. I'm finna tell the chief to come outside and take a look at the footage of the hit he ordered on me. I'm finna go in front of VTA and tell him to check out the footage of the hit they fucking ordered on me. And I had a couple people, well, I'm not gonna say a couple, you could say like one, but it was a couple, because it was like a dude and his girlfriend or whatever. But his girlfriend walked by and she was like, I believe you. And then dude gave me the thumbs up and shit. It could have been some fucking bullshit, but I don't think it was, because you know that just motivated me even more to do it. And their fucking harassment their harassment is like my motivation. Like, for the targets who don't know they're fucking targets, and these people who fucking walk by me every day and fucking smirk at their fucking handiwork, at my fucking flat tires, or, you know, my busted up radiator, or my split radiator hose, or my dents and shit that they fucking do with their car doors and shit. Like, for every one of those that sits back and enjoys their fucking handiwork, they are my motivation for fucking, as well as you guys as well, but you know, they put the rage, like they literally put the rage in me to fucking, like, I don't even care like now what happens to me. Like I'm fucking disclosing everything that I know, and which I don't know everything, but the little bit that I do know, I got from the shit that I'm saying, and it's making sense. Like, why the fuck? Like people are thinking like, yeah, like one guy commits suicide. Okay, yeah, well maybe he had a mental illness, but now a couple weeks later, another suicide. Like people that don't know about this program, they want to know what the fuck is going on. They want to see why. They want to know why they're driving down the street, and it's a lot of fucking cars with one fucking headlight and one tail light. A lot of new cars and shit. Couples and shit riding up the street talking about like, yeah, we've seen a lot of all these newer cars. What's wrong with their headlights and shit like that? People are gonna find out, man. Yeah, based on the fact that I don't like I'm done with Karen. I'm done with Karen. I'm almost to the point to where I know. Well, I am to the point to where I know something is gonna happen, whether they try and drag me to jail and say I committed suicide, or they're gonna try some crafty shit. But I'm gonna let everybody know before they do. When I do come up missing, and they do try and say that shit, that was not the reason at all. Yup. So yeah, I just ask him to keep on letting air out my tires and keep doing your bullshit. Keep thinking you found somebody soft that you can fucking just run over. And not saying that I shouldn't say that, but they look at us as being soft and fucking easy targets, easy targets. I'm not your fucking easy target. You guys, I mean, the harassment and shit. I was cool with just the harassment. I mean, I wasn't cool with it, but I was dealing with it. But the vehicular vandalism, the being all in my phone, fucking with my apps and shit. Can't even play a game peacefully. Can't even play a video. Here you go with this bullshit. They keep fucking making me jump, man. They keep fucking making me jump. But I can't even peacefully play a poker game or nothing on my fucking phone because somehow they magically appear in, like, however they do it, I don't know, man. But they fucking get in your apps and fucking, they'll have your same fucking name. They'll have fucking, you could have been fucking talking to somebody that you haven't talked to in a long time and fucking get on your fucking Poker Stars game or fucking, your poker app, and fucking that same fucking person that you were talking to, they fucking got the same name on there. And not only do they have the fucking player with that person's name, but they got your name too. They got your name and the fucking the person you were talking to. And this isn't some fucking 5 or 10 minutes into the game. It's like fucking almost immediately you fucking sit down and then all of a sudden somebody pops in the fucking poker room with fucking oh man. It's really fucking sick, man. Okay, let's see. Alright, I'm stopped here. Hey, what's going on, Patty? I've been told from a TI and his wife that this program runs a massive transparent prostitution ring in front of the Walmart. And you know what? I can't say that I know anything about that, but I highly don't doubt that, man, because they be using like real fucking prostitutes, and in some instances I be thinking they be having real pimps and shit, because they be having them walking like that like it's almost like they're trying to entrap me, but they're not trying to entrap me. They just want, they know I'm not gonna fucking, you know, what do you call it? They know I'm not gonna fucking, uh, 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 mess with no prostitute or no shit like that. But they'll have like, in it's either a real prostitute. I know it's like I know for a fact these are either real fucking prostitutes or they're females who used to be prostitutes, because you know the, certain they do walks, like there's certain walks and shit that prostitutes do that take a long time to fucking learn, and the way they just fucking like, so like these are fucking like real prostitutes and shit, so they'll use them, and then they'll have some fucking like, they try and get, I think what it is they try and get me to look at the prostitute and try and make me, I don't know, like maybe get at her or something, and then they'll have some dude in the background, like maybe after like she catches my, I look, like if she catches my attention, they'll have some fucking dude fucking in the background, like walking like behind and shit, almost as to say like, damn, she's taken, or some shit like that. They try that shit. They just I can't, you know I can't say I know what their well, I know they want us to kill people and ourselves, but the motive for the tactics, a lot of the tactics that they use, like the visual and all that shit, like having the like I don't get their motivation for that shit, but they do it. So it definitely has to be, working, and somewhere in the background, what they're doing is fucking screwing up my consciousness. Our consciousness, with all these fucking gimmicks and games. Like, they have the blatant shit, but they have the real subtle shit too. The subtle shit like the colors and all that shit that you fucking catch. But it's not something that you really think about too much. It just plays in the background. Yeah, I just flicked through it. He'll probably read my comments soon. Yeah, that's it, man. It's a lot of comments, and like a lot of comments, like when they flick through it, when they zap through the comments and make them go all the way down and shit. Like when I try and scroll back up, it locked me at a certain point to where it's not like the regular app. So it locks me to a certain point. It won't let me scroll all the way. Okay, like right now I'm locked onto Richard Foley is JT definitely pro. Now I'm stuck on JT as a recruiter. Okay. can you interview someone from the VTA in a video? I'm not sure if you're talking to me, but I want to. I want to try, man, but you know, the only way that's gonna happen, I don't think that'll happen, man. VTA, most of the workers that work at VTA, they've been there for years. They, you know, they've made their whole life. You know, it's VTA is like a, if it isn't a union job, it's like a union job. You know, there's there's generations and generations of families that fucking not generations and generations, but you know, people fucking bring their family on board, and because it's a real fucking good job to have. Of course, it's the highest fucking job to have. Like, you know, it's the most important. It's the most important fucking thing out here in San Jose. I mean, people depend on that shit. Like, a day of that shit not working could cost somebody their fucking rent. So, you know, the fucking VTA, and they charge ridiculous prices for fucking, you know, an all-day pass. When I was taking the bus, it was like $6.50, and that was like 10 years ago. So, Lord knows how much a day pass is now. So, you know, it's just really, the prices are really fucking ridiculous. And you know, it's not just San Jose riding on that. It's San Jose, Mountain View, Sunnyvale, Palo Alto, fucking, I think they're even building it to go towards fucking Gilroy. And that's, you know, that's a lot of fucking people. You know, over 1 million people ride that thing. So you just gotta imagine if they're charging $8 for fucking a day pass, the monthly passes, and yearly passes, all that shit is skyrocket. So, you know, they're very fucking established, and for like shit like this, it's easy for them to cover up. Shit like this is easy for them to sweep under the rug, and a lot of them are so seasoned in this fucking game, or this fucking shit that they do, that they're not gonna tell, because they know the ins and outs. They know what happens. You know, they know what happens. You know, like I said, only one or two things happened. That dude didn't commit suicide, or if he did, well, put it like this: they either killed him to cover up, because they said on the news, they said he stayed in contact with the families, and he tried to console them, and so it's either they were getting on the edge about him staying in contact with the families and shit, getting too close with the families, all the families and shit, wondering like, what is he telling them? What is he telling them? They cut my live off, you guys. Oh shit, okay. Wait. Are you guys there? Okay, anybody? Everybody hear me? Stop. Wait, hold on. Anybody there? Stop. Okay, cool. Yeah, man. Okay, cool. Yeah, man. I forgot where I was, man. Dude got behind me, and all of a sudden my shit, it said it turned off. It's open live stuff, and it just started over. It's like from my side, it says it's only been going for 2 minutes. I was in touch with half German guy in Germany, but they locked down they locked the whole country. Damn. Martial law, yeah. Yeah, man. You know it's crazy, man. All these so-called Americans, all these so-called throw your fucking fist in the air and pump your fucking fist and fly your fucking toilet paper in the air and shit. And not one of them are saying anything about the fucking shit that's going on right now with the Taliban. I don't see them with their fucking chests poked out trying to fucking go help the military men fucking or go try and save the fucking people. They're harassing. that tells you the mind state of these fucking people, man. Like they'll literally ride around in their fucking big monster trucks, flying fucking toilet paper with decorated toilet paper, American flags and shit. And fucking just real tough guys, fucking chewing on fucking hay weed and shit. They be having them little the hay, chewing on the hay and shit like a toothpick. Real tough, the real tough American type. None of them would have the fucking guts to go fucking try and save anybody that's going through that shit right now. But behind the protection of the police, they'll harass any fucking body you tell them to. Fucking watchdogs, that's all they are, fucking watchdogs. Does anyone know how Kyle is in that storm? Nah, I haven't tuned in to Kyle for a minute. I have to tune back into his channel. Hopefully he's alright though. Who are those idiots dressed in dresses? Some of them are mentally ill and some of them do it for drugs. Some of them fuck up and, they sign up to get out of they sign out to get into the early work programs and shit, the programs where you can get out of jail. You gotta go to the park and clean up garbage or fucking some shit like that once a week. Well, instead of that, or sheriff's work patrol, they used to call it. And they got their regular snitches and shit, so It's pretty much whoever they want, whoever they fucking point their finger to and say you're gonna wear the dress today. Whoever they point their finger at, that's who's gonna wear the dress. And you're gonna wear that dress whether you like it or not. You wanna go to jail? You wanna go back to jail? You fucking put that dress on. Imagine yourself, right? You're some fucking big buff swole fucker. We won't even say big buff and swole, but you know, you're some fucking tough guy that just gets out of prison and shit. Been in fucking prison for 3 or 4 years. You get out, you wanna make some money. Say, look, hey, look at this little gang stalking program. You join, you divulge all their fucking information. You find out. You find out, and the first thing about fucking up is finding out how the operation works. Once you find out how the operation works, you've locked yourself in for life. Until it stops. Find out how it works. So now that you know all this, this is where the job begins. You fucking start off fucking hanging out on the fucking corner acting crazy. Pretending to be crazy and all this fucking shit. Not to mention if you have a drug habit, then they're gonna let you do your drugs. They're gonna let you do all the drugs you want, especially as soon as you get out of jail. It's easier for them to control you, and it keeps their fucking, you know, their perps can talk to you, their handlers, if you will, can talk to you, and almost like that, you know, when you get out of jail and you get that job, and it's the only job you can have, so the fucking dickhead boss always fucking waves over your head. Oh, well, if you don't want the job, then good luck trying to find a job somewhere else. Or you know, that type of shit. I'll call your parole officer. You know, that type of shit. They want to talk to you like that, so, you know, if you're on drugs and shit, they'll do that. It's easier for them to do that. So just imagine yourself. And then, you know, you start off playing crazy and shit. And the job's not too bad. You know, this is all I have to do for the money. Is pretend like I'm crazy all damn night, walking up the street and shit, pulling my pants down, and then it comes to the point to where you gotta fucking, now that you fucking been grabbing my attention with the craziness, now you gotta grab my attention, but you gotta stay. You gotta get closer to me now. And you gotta do fucking horrific shit like fucking stick fucking Fruity Looms up your ass and fucking pull them to where it makes you fucking, you know. I don't know how they fucking do that shit without ripping their fucking ass open, but, you know, they fucking pull the fucking Fruity Looms up their ass like fucking G-strings. Now you gotta do that. Like, how does that make, like, how would that make, I can't even think of how that would, I can't even, and then just, not only that, but your handler is some fucking college student, or some old ass fucking pervert from Neighborhood Watch and shit. Some fucking dude, like the dude that was, like the little dude, the old dude, I think he was probably well off in his 70s, late 70s, fucking. You guys seen that video where the little dude came parked behind me and shit, and I fucking walked up to his car and asked him why he was doing that perverted shit behind him, playing with his fucking weenie and shit. behind my van and shit, park right behind my van and start playing, probably looking at me through my phone camera and shit, playing with his fucking wing. You know, like that's that's the shit. That's the shit. Like you know, how in the fuck, like, how do you live with yourself after that? And then you know it's on camera. You know that the person that you are targeting, and you got these fucking draws in your ass, like, you know it's on camera now, it's on video, and I'm telling you that it's going on YouTube. You'll be on YouTube. Start signing. Get ready to start signing some autographs. At that point, when I say that, I wonder how they fucking feel, man. After performing such a fucking act, how the fuck do you feel that now that you're gonna be on YouTube, when you could have just did your jail time? You could have just did your fucking 6 months, your 3 months, your 45 days, your 30 days, whatever the fuck they were gonna give you. It's not life. You could have knocked that shit out, got it out the way, got healthy, did some push-ups. But I guess, man, some things I'll never understand.